Is the WNBA experiencing its LeBron James moment? Caitlin Clark's explosive entry into women's professional basketball is turning heads, shattering WNBA records, and challenging everything we thought we knew about WNBA rookie performances. Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the Caitlin Clark WNBA phenomenon. Let's kick things off with a WNBA stat that'll blow your mind. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's star rookie, is averaging 37.6 points per game when you combine her scoring and assists. That's not just good, it's on track to set a new WNBA record. But here's the kicker. She's doing this as a WNBA rookie. Clark isn't just running away with WNBA Rookie of the Year. She's pushing established WNBA stars for the WNBA MVP award. That's Caitlin Clark for you. A player so dominant that she's forcing us to rewrite the rulebook on what WNBA rookies can achieve. Caitlin Clark's WNBA game is a perfect storm of scoring prowess and playmaking brilliance. She's not just leading the WNBA in scoring, she's doing it with a flair that's leaving WNBA defenders in knots. We're talking about a WNBA player who's not afraid to pull up from logo range, hitting three-pointers that would make NBA star Steph Curry proud. In a recent WNBA game, Clark dropped 40 points, dished out 10 assists, and grabbed 7 rebounds. That's not just a good WNBA game, that's an MVP caliber performance in women's basketball. But Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA isn't just about scoring. Her passing ability in women's basketball is being compared to NBA legend LeBron James. Full-court bounce passes that thread the needle? That's becoming a regular occurrence in WNBA games featuring Caitlin Clark. This combination of WNBA skills makes her nearly impossible to guard. From beyond 30 feet, she's shooting an impressive 37%. Within 5 feet of the hoop, a staggering 63.6% success rate. Do you play her tight and risk getting blown by? Or give her space and watch her rain threes? It's a WNBA defensive nightmare. Now let's talk about Caitlin Clark's impact on her WNBA team. Remember when the Indiana Fever were the WNBA's punching bag? Last WNBA season, they limped to a 13-27 record. Enter Caitlin Clark, and suddenly they're WNBA playoff contenders. That's not just improvement, that's a complete transformation of an WNBA franchise. Since the Olympic break, the Fever have been on fire in the WNBA, boasting a 7-1 record. Clark isn't just putting up WNBA numbers, she's elevating her entire WNBA team. But Caitlin Clark's impact extends far beyond the WNBA court. She's not just changing the game of women's basketball, she's transforming the WNBA's entire landscape. Get this, 16 out of 18 WNBA games that drew over 1 million viewers this season featured Caitlin Clark. We're talking about a WNBA rookie pulling in NBA-level viewership. A recent Indiana Fever WNBA game drew 2.2 million viewers. That's massive for women's professional basketball. Let's put this into perspective. WNBA viewership grew by 20% in 2023. With Caitlin Clark, it's grown by an astounding 180%. The numbers are mind-boggling. Clark's WNBA debut, it drew 2.11 million viewers, making it the most watched WNBA game since 2001 and the highest rated ever on cable television. This game even outperformed an NHL playoff game airing at the same time. Talk about star power, but it doesn't stop there. WNBA draft day viewership, up a staggering 400%. The 2024 WNBA draft, where Clark was selected first overall, drew 2.45 million viewers. That's more than 4 times the previous record set in 2004. WNBA ticket sales have surged by 93%. The Indiana Fever, in particular, has seen significant increases in attendance and ticket sales. These aren't just numbers. They're a testament to Caitlin Clark's star power in women's basketball. The Caitlin Clark effect is rippling through every aspect of the WNBA. WNBA app downloads, up by 146%. Overall league attendance, grown by 14%. And remember, this is building on an already strong foundation. The 2023 WNBA season saw a 21% increase in viewership, the largest audience in over 2 decades. 3 teams announced season ticket sellouts for the first time in WNBA history. Clark isn't just riding a wave, she's creating a tsunami of interest in women's professional basketball. With numbers like these, it's no wonder Caitlin Clark isn't just in the WNBA Rookie of the Year conversation. She's making a serious case for WNBA MVP. Aja Wilson, the presumptive WNBA MVP favorite, suddenly has competition. Clark's combination of scoring, playmaking, and team impact is forcing the WNBA to reconsider what an MVP in women's basketball looks like. The traditional WNBA MVP criteria are being challenged. It's not just about individual WNBA stats anymore. It's about impact on women's basketball. And Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is undeniable. She's leading in individual WNBA stats. She's transformed her team from WNBA bottom dwellers to contenders. And she's bringing unprecedented attention to women's professional basketball. Looking ahead, Caitlin Clark's impact could reshape the WNBA's future. Higher WNBA viewership means more revenue for women's basketball, better WNBA contracts, and potentially WNBA expansion. The WNBA is already aiming to double its media rights fees in upcoming negotiations. League expansion is underway, with new teams planned for the Bay Area and Toronto. The WNBA has been growing steadily, but Caitlin Clark is accelerating that growth at an unprecedented rate in women's sports. As we head into the final stretch of the WNBA season, all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark. Can she lead the Indiana Fever to a deep WNBA playoff run? Will she challenge for WNBA MVP? One thing's for sure, women's professional basketball will never be the same. Caitlin Clark represents more than just a talented WNBA rookie. She's a glimpse into the future of women's basketball. Her ability to dominate on the WNBA court while simultaneously elevating the entire women's basketball league is something we rarely see in sports. Whether you're a die-hard WNBA fan or someone who's never watched a women's basketball game, Caitlin Clark's WNBA performances are must-see TV. So what do you think? Is Caitlin Clark the future of the WNBA and women's basketball? Are we witnessing the emergence of a once-in-a-generation talent in women's sports? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. The Caitlin Clark era in the WNBA has begun, and it's going to be one hell of a ride for women's basketball fans.
Boston setting up Clark. ABC.
Great execution, momentum swing. They need to get a stop here on defense.
Caitlin Clark made history once again, breaking the Indiana Fever's franchise record for three-pointers in a season. But her record-breaking performance wasn't enough to stop Cheryl Reeve's Minnesota Lynx from securing a pivotal win in this high-stakes WNBA matchup. Despite the Fever coming in hot with a 5-game winning streak and Clark continuing to electrify the WNBA, the Lynx, powered by Napheesa Collier and clutch plays from Kayla McBride, proved too much to handle. Let's dive into this game recap, the ongoing rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Reeve, and what this means for the WNBA playoff race. This game had everything you could want in a WNBA showdown: personal rivalries, playoff implications, and top-tier talent. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's rookie sensation, has been nothing short of spectacular this season, averaging over 20 points per game, breaking franchise records, and leading the Fever to 5 straight wins. Clark came into this game with everything to prove, especially against Minnesota Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve. Ever since Clark's shocking Olympic team snub, a decision that Reeve was heavily involved in, tension has been brewing between the two. Reeve has been largely dismissive of the controversy, but for Caitlin Clark, every game against the Lynx feels personal, and this matchup was no different. The Minnesota Lynx, one of the top teams in the WNBA, were ready to defend their home court at the Target Center. Napheesa Collier has been a force all season, and with Kayla McBride's sharp shooting and Reeve's tactical coaching, the Lynx came into this game prepared to send a message, not just to the Fever, but to the entire league. The Indiana Fever came out strong, driven by Caitlin Clark's dynamic playmaking and Aaliyah Boston's dominant presence in the paint. Early on, it looked like the Fever had the upper hand, as Clark set up Boston for easy buckets and controlled the pace of the game. Clark's performance was highlighted by her record-breaking moment in the second quarter when she hit her 103rd three-pointer of the season, setting a new Indiana Fever franchise record for most three-pointers in a single WNBA season. At halftime, Despite Clark's 17 points, Minnesota had rallied back to take a narrow 50-45 lead. Napheesa Collier was a dominant force, scoring 14 of her 26 points in the first half and keeping the Lynx within striking distance. Kayla McBride's outside shooting and Natisha Heidemann's perimeter defense were also pivotal in stopping Indiana's momentum. As the game progressed, the Lynx continued to pull away. Collier's inside presence, combined with McBride's accuracy from deep, extended Minnesota's lead to 12 points by the end of the third quarter. Yet the Fever weren't finished. Caitlin Clark refused to back down, leading a fourth quarter surge that cut the deficit to just 1 point with over 4 minutes remaining. But when it mattered most, the Minnesota Lynx executed flawlessly. Heidemann's clutch and one layup pushed the lead back to 8 points, sealing the game. Despite Clark's heroics, including finishing with 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, the Fever couldn't complete the comeback. The final score? Minnesota Lynx 99, Indiana Fever 88. Key players for the Lynx included Napheesa Collier with a 26-point, 10-rebound double-double, and Kayla McBride, who knocked down crucial three-pointers. The Fever saw strong performances from Kelsey Mitchell, who scored 23 points, and Aaliyah Boston, who added 20 points and 5 rebounds. But it wasn't enough to stop Minnesota from snapping Indiana's 5-game winning streak. After the game, Cheryl Reeve acknowledged Caitlin Clark's impact, but highlighted what truly sets her apart. Reeve remarked, "The single best thing that she does that young players don't do is she plays at an incredible pace. Pace can get you really, really far, and there's great value in that. Pace and passing are her two greatest things." While her comments seemed respectful, Reeve's satisfaction with the win was evident. Although she praised Clark's performance, her focus remained on the Lynx's execution and ability to finish the game strong. "It's not just about individual talent," Reeve continued. "It's about how you play as a team in those critical moments. And tonight, we did exactly that." Reeve's words underscore the essence of this ongoing rivalry. Caitlin Clark may have set another WNBA record, but Reeve and the Lynx once again demonstrated the importance of experience and team dynamics in winning critical games. While the post-game comments were respectful, the underlying tension between Clark and Reeve remains palpable, especially given their shared history, including the Olympic snub. Reeve's recognition of Clark's exceptional pace and passing didn't hide the fact that this was a crucial victory for Minnesota, and Reeve made sure to emphasize the Lynx's collective effort in overcoming Clark's brilliance. "We're here to win," Reeve added, "and as much as individual performances matter, it's the team that gets you through games like these." So where does this rivalry go from here? Caitlin Clark may have set another record, but Cheryl Reeve's Lynx got the last laugh, for now, with playoff implications looming and the personal tension far from resolved. The next chapter of this rivalry is bound to be even more explosive. Will Clark get her revenge the next time they meet, or will Reeve's experience continue to outshine the rookie star? One thing is for sure, this rivalry is only heating up, and the WNBA playoffs will bring even more drama. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over.
Here's Clark. Her 29 points gets tripped up. So the Diamond DeShields foul has been upgraded to a flagrant 1.
Aaliyah Boston steals the ball and passes to Caitlin Clark on the break, but Diamond DeShields comes out of nowhere and bulldozes Caitlin Clark, even laughing about it afterward. Despite this, Clark, who's been dealing with physical play all season, simply gets up and walks away. Caitlin is used to this rough treatment, especially considering this was the third foul from DeShields in just 38 seconds. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese is one of the most heated rivalries in the WNBA, gaining attention from fans and the media, including ESPN. Statistically, Caitlin Clark has been the victim of 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls, many of which come from Angel Reese's crew. It's obvious that players are trying to take Clark out of the Rookie of the Year race. Even ESPN's rookie rankings have controversially placed Angel Reese above Clark, despite Caitlin Clark's superior stats and her team's better win-loss record. The Rookie of the Year battle between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese was at its peak heading into this game, Everyone knew the winner of this matchup would likely take home the award. Caitlin Clark wasted no time, showcasing her playmaking skills, dishing out assists, driving to the hoop, and sinking threes. By the end of the first quarter, Clark had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, while Angel Reese struggled with just 2 points. In the second quarter, Caitlin Clark continued her stellar play, hitting back-to-back threes and delivering incredible assists, solidifying her case as WNBA Rookie of the Year. She racked up 15 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds by halftime, while Reese could only manage 4 points and 6 rebounds, along with 4 turnovers. The second half saw Caitlin Clark completely dominate. She pulled off step-back threes, drew fouls, and set up her teammates for easy baskets. By the end of the third quarter, Clark had 8 more points and 2 assists, giving the Indiana Fever a 14-point lead. Meanwhile, Angel Reese could only manage 1 point in the quarter, finishing with a negative plus-minus rating of 4. Now let's dive into the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese rivalry that's been brewing all season. This isn't just any WNBA rivalry. It's becoming a defining storyline for women's basketball. ESPN and other major sports outlets have been covering the tension between these two stars, both of whom dominated in college basketball and came into the WNBA with huge expectations. Both Clark and Reese have their own playing styles, and their personalities clash both on and off the court. Caitlin Clark is known for her sharp shooting and ability to control the game with her incredible vision and playmaking. Her stats speak for themselves, leading in points, assists, and overall team impact. On the other hand, Angel Reese is a force in the paint, dominating the boards with her rebounding prowess, but her offensive game has struggled to keep up with her defensive presence. The media, especially ESPN, has played a big role in amplifying this rivalry. Angel Reese may have the attention of outlets like ESPN, but it's hard to ignore that Caitlin Clark is winning the stats and the fan base. Clark's ability to light up the scoreboard and carry her team to wins has overshadowed Reese's focus on defense. Even though the rookie rankings might favor Reese at times, when you look at the numbers and the game impact, Caitlin Clark stands out as the better all-around player. But what makes this rivalry even more fascinating is what's at stake for the WNBA itself. Caitlin Clark isn't just battling Angel Reese, she's changing the way people view the WNBA. Clark's performances have brought in millions of new viewers, and ESPN has reported that games featuring Caitlin Clark have significantly higher viewership than any other WNBA games this season. It's clear Caitlin Clark is elevating the entire league. Clark's fan engagement is also unmatched. She's connecting with young fans, signing autographs, and showing genuine passion for the game. This has helped her build a loyal fan base, not just in Indiana but nationwide. Even LeBron James has shown support for Clark on social media, further highlighting her growing influence in basketball. The Indiana Fever's playoff push is also largely due to Caitlin Clark's leadership. Before Clark, the Fever hadn't made the playoffs since 2016. Now they're back in contention, and it's largely because of Clark's ability to take over games. Her impact goes beyond the stat sheet. She's a leader on and off the court, making her a valuable asset for the Fever and the WNBA as a whole. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is facing her own struggles. Though she was a standout in college, her transition to the WNBA hasn't been as smooth as Clark's. Reese's focus on rebounding is impressive, but she's struggling with scoring, especially in close games. During garbage time, when other rookies might rack up easy points, Reese's inability to capitalize against third-string defenders is becoming a glaring weakness in her game. The narrative from outlets like ESPN often tries to balance out the rivalry, but the reality is clear. Caitlin Clark has pulled ahead. As the WNBA Rookie of the Year race comes to a close, the stats, team performance, and fan engagement all point to one player, Caitlin Clark. The bigger picture, MVP conversations in Caitlin Clark's future. At this point, the conversation shouldn't just be about Rookie of the Year. It's time to talk about Caitlin Clark as an MVP candidate. Her performance has been nothing short of historic, and her numbers back it up. With 31 points, 12 assists, and 4 rebounds in this game alone, Clark is proving that she's not just the best rookie, she's one of the best players in the entire WNBA. While Angel Reese continues to focus on personal stats, Caitlin Clark is leading her team to victories, gaining attention from ESPN, and putting herself in the MVP conversation. Her ability to stay composed, take responsibility, and perform under pressure is what separates her from the rest. So, what do you think? Is Angel Reese's obsession with Caitlin Clark hurting her game, or is she just hitting a rough patch? Should Caitlin Clark already be in the MVP conversation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, if you want to stay updated on all the latest WNBA drama, Caitlin Clark highlights, and ESPN breakdowns, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Stay tuned for more exciting WNBA coverage, and keep your eyes on the rise of Caitlin Clark.